One night, just before Christmas 2016, I was decorating my tree when I got a Facebook message from my childhood friend Alex. "Hey," he wrote, "do you happen to remember the last time you visited me in Verona?" When I was 8 years old, I had two best friends, Alex and Nigel. Alex was the boy who lived in the haunted house by a swamp. Nigel was just as good a friend, but he didn't live in a haunted house, so he doesn't come into this story much. Sorry, Nigel. Alex's family lived on the outskirts of town. To get there, I had to walk past a pasture where there lived a bull, with whom I was always careful to avoid eye contact because, well, you know what happens if you can see them. Alex's house had a staircase leading into a musty basement, an attic that was only accessible through a ladder, meaning that the family didn't use it much, thus giving the ghosts and monsters that undoubtedly lived up there pretty much a free rein. There were boxes and chests and trunks heaped full of old and therefore very cool stuff. I loved going to visit Alex because, as every child knows, haunted houses are thrilling to visit when it's daytime. They only become scary at night. The swamp was right across the road from Alex's house. We would spend hours exploring, while I tried to keep from getting dirty so my grandma wouldn't find out what we'd been doing. Yes, exploring. Because, of course, we were never just going for a walk. We were exploring. Alex was my first friend who was weird like me. We talked about books and comic books and the band Kiss and Dr. Seuss from Planet of the Apes. Alex was the one who introduced me to Planet of the Apes and all of the other super important stuff that 8 and 9-year-olds talk about. You know, the only stuff that really matters. My family moved to a town that was a half-hour drive away, basically another planet, when I was 9. Alex and Nigel were the main reasons I didn't want to go. Really, to be honest, I was worried that I wouldn't make friends like that again. And if I'm being perfectly honest, that actually turned out to be true, at least until I became an adult and met other people willing to accept the weirdness that is Rick. I visited the boy in the haunted house just once, a few months after we moved, and then I didn't hear from him again for 40 years until he searched me out on Facebook. Alex reminded me. There was me and a couple of other friends, and we pretended that we had done drugs and we were high. You were visibly upset and genuinely concerned for my well-being, which of course just spurred us to play it up even more. I laughed and said, "Yeah, that sounded like me. So gullible." Ugh, I thought to myself, what a goody two-shoes I was. He went on to say, "I just wanted to say I'm sorry. You were always a good friend, and I shouldn't have made you upset like that." Now, the fact is that over the years, whenever I've thought of Alex, I had always remembered him kindly. He was the boy in the haunted house by the swamp. He was the boy who introduced me to Planet of the Apes and told me why I should care who Gene Simmons was. I had completely forgotten about that day until he reminded me of it. But he had felt bad about it for decades and wanted to say he was sorry. You know, friends come and go in your life, and that's normal. Sometimes, though, you wonder, did I have the same impact on people that they had on me? Thanks to the boy in the haunted house, I now know the answer to at least one of those questions. Thanks, Alex.